Okay, manifesting from within. How can we do it? How can we improve ourselves? And, go for our hopes and dreams. Yes, please. So, manifests, when you look at the etymology of the word, similar to manifesto, essentially says it comes from within. So there's none of this, divine universe spirit is going to give it to you. Yes, yours is, but you still have to come down from consciousness into matter somewhere within you to be able to then bring it into this world. Because we're transmuting, we're beings of love and light, all that sort of jazz. So, ideally we want to be the clearest conduit for those messages to come through, which come through here, the solar plexus, or the manipura, and then we manifest from our imbalance, if we're current imbalance, if we're not connected with our higher self, and that takes a bit of effort to do. So, how do we know if we're manifesting from our soul or from our imbalance? Well, if we keep thinking the same things and we haven't fixed that one thing that has been that imbalance, then our circuitry is totally focused on one spot. So for me, for a long time, like 30 years, that was the liver and gallbladder. So I was manifesting and co-creating my experiences based on anger, stored emotion, and that stored emotion was from stories in the past that could have been there for 5, 10, 15, 30 years. And every time I'd go and try to do something and create my dreams, then I'd end up angry at the world or angry at myself because I didn't get what I wanted, and then there was a big gap and there was energies all over the place. So, it's a natural way the circuit works. If there's a circuit that is missing or an imbalance in our body, then that circuit just kind of gets cuts off. It's the same as any group, any behavioral group. The weakest member, they'll try to strengthen them, but if that person is stuck in their victim for so long, at some point they're going to have to get ostracized because they're bringing down the vibration and the overall relationship in the group. So it's not fun. So we don't really want to be co-creating from that imbalance. Ideally, we want to have our bodily temple, which is the subconscious template for the higher realms, that is always giving us those messages. Every single time, every day, every moment, there is a spot that's not getting the messages. So if we're trying to co-create from that place, it's going to be difficult. So I'm a big fan of take the time to heal yourself, fix those things in your body, not just the messages that come to the receptionist in the mind, and then we are able to co-create and manifest from a higher vibration because we've done our work. So we do get a lot of people doing, a weekend Reiki course and go, oh, I'm a healer. And then, of course, they're co-creating from the amount of imbalances they've currently got at that particular point. And let's face it, unless you've raised your Kundalini, you haven't actually got the title of a healer in ancient times, which is a different standard to where we are now. So, for instance, I find it's the easiest way for me to tell is for myself, and when I'm sharing with clients and friends, is, okay, what is your body's biggest imbalance now? So for a friend, if it's like for me, for instance, now I've got a couple of bits of tension on my lower back and the sacral, so I'm having trouble with my creative energy and creating from my spirit, which of course is the reproductive system. And so I really have to try to get cleaning and clearing that out, and then I can manifest what I want without having that imbalance in the way, because that's the subconscious blocks that are there. So by doing it mentally, we have some muscle tests, and those things are great. They might release a couple of things, but they're only in the fourth dimension, which is the etheric and emotional, which is linked to the organs, and then the thoughts and beliefs stored in the cells are in the fifth dimension. We've got to get ourselves up to the sixth dimension, the causal body, which is where all the causes in the body, cause all body, are coming from. So the messages are coming back from the seventh dimension into the divine, into our spirit and our crown up here, through our solar plexus, which is where most of all the causes actually are, and then we're manifesting from our imbalance from that particular point. It's not really connected in the circuit. So, and as a result, we can easily tell that, say, for instance, if my liver isn't so great, then I'm constantly co-creating angry experiences from other guys competing, because if all of the energy is over on the right side, then that's the masculine side, and the spleen is left with the feminine side being unnurtured. So then we find a need, once we've been competing with the guys, doing different sports and arguing and whatever like I used to do, then the feminine side is left with a whole lot of too much blood, too much bile and too much gur in the blood, so I need nurturing. So if we're not balancing that within ourselves, we tend to find that in a relationship. So I would find really beautiful, nourishing, nurturing goddesses in the relationships that I was choosing, but because my emotions were all over on the right masculine, I would be going boom, 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 trying to get the circuit to go through, but instead it would come through and then go ching, ching, ching. Or if it would come through from the subtle bodies into the solar plexus, and instead of going up here and down here like it should, it would go ching, 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 ching. So, big fan of co-creating from within, because it's the only real way, in our soul, our plexus. And feel free to take the time to nurture and relax and get some gunk out of the body, or whatever we have to do, a massage or something nurturing. We can really purify our blood and get in touch with our feminine side, really, really in touch with our body, because our body is feminine, because we can touch it. Remember, everything in this world that we can touch is feminine. So that's the one we really need to fix. And then we can have a long, healthy, really health-filled life with absolutely major spiritual development, because we're dealing with our low stuff in our body, in our subconscious, so then we can really, really expand. How does that sound? Manifesting from within. Let's heal ourselves, shall we?